Guillermo del Toro recently went on record saying he will never use AI in any of his projects ever. He's one of many proud generative AI haters, alongside Hayao Miyazaki, and honestly, any self-respecting artist who's put their heart and soul into creating something unique, only to have it stolen by some random person on TikTok has every right to be pissed off. So this week, we are addressing the elephant in the room, the question that has been haunting nerds and artists everywhere. What does the future of art and nerd culture look like? Here are our predictions. Welcome to the Echo Chamber, the program where we talk about nerd news and pop culture in Zambia and around the world. ChatGPT came out on November 30th, 2022. I remember the date vividly because it just so happened to be my 21st birthday. Imagine stepping into adulthood with dreams of being an artist, only to have the world immediately shout out, "Death to all artists." It felt like a personal attack, not just because art was my passion, but because it seemed to be coming after everything I was genuinely into: animation, coding, storytelling. Generative AI felt like it was built to kill the creative industry and somehow, even the tech industry too, which is ironic considering it came from tech, but I digress. Tech bros who've never so much as picked up a pencil were suddenly talking about how accessible art was going to be for everyone. And of course, they think so because they can't even draw a stick figure right. Artists have always been undervalued because corporations know the power of something that looks good, but they don't want to pay for it. So they made generative AI to fix that little problem. They wanted to figure out how to kick artists out of the creative process entirely. How's that working out for you? It only took like what, 3 years before AI started coming after everyone, not just artists and coders, but every single possible job, including the jobs of the same people who made these decisions. The fact that CEOs might be next, that that just that just makes my heart sing. Look, fundamentally speaking, every attempt to throw a group of people under the bus has never ended well for anyone. Actively trying to harm any one group always harms everyone, no matter how small they may seem. Losing a little toe affects the whole body. Now, do I believe AI is bad and will always be bad no matter what? That's complicated. If you'd asked me this question back in 2021, I would have said absolutely, without a doubt. But you have to admit, it actually has some potential to be pretty useful. Let me play devil's advocate for a second and introduce you to one person who heavily uses AI, yet I've somehow come to respect: the Unearthly Guy, the creator of Angel Engine. Now, I love myself some analog horror. Sign me up for anything that will make me jump at my own shadow. I highly recommend The Boiled One Phenomenon and the Mandela Catalog, by the way. But what made his use of AI visuals actually work for me? For one, you can see his creativity in it. AI naturally leans towards creating uncanny and disturbing imagery, and he ran with that, crafting some of the most unsettling visuals on screen. He also managed to keep his work visually consistent across videos. You can tell he's not just tossing in random prompts and hoping for the best. It's AI, but not AI slop. I'll get to what I mean by that in a second. The writing is also clearly human. He wrote Angel Engine himself, so there's genuine, unfiltered creativity there. The concept of humanity capturing and torturing an angel for power is pretty unique. And I genuinely believe he went through the full creative process: planning, writing, editing, reworking, and everything else an artist does to bring something to life. This is one of the few times I actually think he has the right to call what he made AI art, because it is art. It's a story told through a deeply human lens, and as it stands now, he's actively hiring real artists to help with his work, which is a huge win, and further proof that he is one of those people who has vision but just lacked resources. Now compare that to ASMR videos of people eating lava, or DC characters but in a Disney art style, or Will Smith eating spaghetti for the nth time. All this to say, the tech bros are not right. AI will never replace art in any meaningful way. What it has done, though, is expose the growing rift between art and entertainment. Just so we are clear, art and entertainment are not the same thing. They never really were. But in the past, they had to stay closely aligned because it was really, really hard to get your work on screen. You needed a lot of things to go your way: being in the right city, meeting the right people, catching the right opportunities. Most importantly, though, your work had to be objectively good. Whatever made it to TV had to be either important or something most people would agree was moving. It had to be genuinely funny, creative, or emotionally powerful, all things tied to art. But when social media came along, anyone could post anything with very little effort compared to what it took to be on the big screen. So people seeking fame or just money began to turn to entertainment more than art. Because honestly, where is the artistry in 1000-degree ball versus giant block of ice, or pimple popping videos, or mukbangs? They're entertaining, sure, and lots of people watch them. But it's slop. AI slop, as people like to call it, is really just a continuation of this low substance content that people were already loving. What's the real difference between AI slop and human made content that has no substance? What I'd call human slop. So if AI dominates a field, who really cares? The truth is, people on a subconscious level already know the difference. That's why there are AI interviews where characters themselves point out that they are just AI.
Some people say we're just AI created via some simple prompts. Thoughts?
If I'm just a prompt, mine clearly said add anxiety and a caffeine addiction.
Are we?
Or the viral AI-generated Batman script that blew up online.
That's just like a bat would. Batman looks around for his parents, but they are still dead.
Even I'm guilty of watching AI slop once in a while, but like any kind of junk food, it's not all bad in moderation. You get no nutritional value from cotton candy. It's just air and sugar. But that doesn't mean you should never eat cotton candy. AI will still make its way into art, but I believe it's up to the artists and how they use it. The tech bros are kind of right in one thing: it's just a tool. A construction worker isn't replaced by a hammer. AI cannot replace an artist because art is intrinsically human. I still believe that art created without generative AI will always be superior to art that uses it. Guillermo del Toro is a master of his craft, and he shouldn't bend to modern trends because the magic of his films is that they are man-made. There will always be space for art in its most raw and most pure form. And no matter what people do to try and kill it, it will never die.
You look lonely. I can fix that.